What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and we have some surprisingly good news on the negotiations taking place for the first portion of the infrastructure bill. This is your stimulus check update and your stimulus package update. Now, I've got some video footage that literally just came out 5 minutes ago from the time of this recording. I'm going to be sharing with you guys. We're going to be diving into some articles as we're getting this news that it looks like we could have this first portion ready. Now, keep in mind that once we have this agreement for the first portion, then Congress is going to turn their attention to the second portion, which is going to be that stimulus package. That's right. Now, the second portion of the infrastructure bill, known as the American Families Plan, they're calling it human infrastructure. It's essentially going to be more stimulus for people. So you guys, I'm going to get you caught up on this good news that we're hearing they're making progress and we could have a deal here very soon. So I'm going to dive right in, get you caught up on the latest as of today, July 27, 2021. But before we do, if you do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you could just smash that like button, I would appreciate it. Helps out the channel a ton. Also, leave your comments down below. I love hearing your thoughts on this stuff. And be sure to share this out if you think it's going to help out other people as well. Now, in addition to that, if this is your first time here, don't forget, smash that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and you can come join the viewing community. Come and join the Ram fam, we like to call it, and I'll keep you up to date on all this stuff so you know what's happening with stimulus, Congress, the economy, unemployment, anything having to do with money. And be sure to join me on Instagram at SteveRam3. That's the best way to get a hold of me if you got any specific questions that you want to shoot me and I can get you some answers on. Now, with that being said, though, let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to get you caught up as to what we're hearing has just unfolded literally 5 minutes ago from the time of this recording with some video footage. Let's start off with that, and we're going to be hearing from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer on how things are going with negotiations.
On infrastructure, we're making good progress on both tracks. The bipartisan infrastructure bill and the budget resolution with reconciliation instructions. We had a good discussion at lunch. We're doing all we can as a caucus to quickly achieve both tracks. If an agreement can be reached, and I'm very optimistic and hopeful it will be, senators should prepare to work through the weekend in order to finish the bipartisan infrastructure bill. As I've said from the beginning, we got a lot of work to do, but it's my intention to get both the bipartisan infrastructure bill and the budget resolution in the Senate passed before the conclusion of the work period.
Our effort on infrastructure is to make sure that that continues, that the momentum continues forward, creating new jobs and new opportunities for people across America. I salute the bipartisan group, but it's time to close the deal. I hope they can get it done soon. As Senator Schumer has said, we're going to stay until it is done, and I heartily support that statement on his part.
So there you have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As we heard them say, they believe they are really close to having this done, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said, if we got to work through the weekend to get this done, we're going to go ahead and do it, but we are going to get this done before we go on break. And as you know, next week is the last week before the Senate goes on their August recess, and they want to have this all done, both portions, so that way when they come back from their recess, they can pass everything into law, both parts, both the American Families Plan and the Jobs Plan, the first portion for traditional infrastructure, roads, bridges, highways, and also the second portion for human infrastructure or more stimulus for people. Now, hopefully we'll be seeing an actual bill appear here very soon, and when we do, I'll be sure to keep you up to date. But here's the latest that we're hearing. Here's an article that just came out about 10 minutes ago. It says, lawmakers say infrastructure deal is within reach. Bipartisan Senate negotiators, they are working through transit funding and other issues that bog down talks on the $1 trillion package. And it says, lawmakers expressed renewed optimism today that they were close to reaching a deal on the roughly $1 trillion infrastructure package as they worked through a series of 11th hour holdups. Now, after a day of partisan sniping over last-minute disputes, lawmakers said today, that they were approaching resolution to some of the issues that had bogged down the final stretch of the negotiations. But they still hadn't finished their talks, weeks after the group announced that they had agreed to a loose framework for a deal. We're getting close, and I'm hopeful that we can get this done soon, said Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer to reporters today. We're not there yet, but we're making progress. The number of issues has been narrowed significantly. A bipartisan group of senators has been working for weeks to come to an agreement on the details of a loose framework of roughly $600 billion above projected federal spending on roads, bridges, and expanded broadband access and more. Now, at the same time, Democratic leaders have been working to coalesce the 50 members of the Democratic caucus around a $3.5 trillion package of healthcare, education, climate change, and anti-poverty provisions that they hope to pass along party lines. And that's that second portion. That's going to be that stimulus package. Now it says support for the two packages, which together could cement much of President Biden's agenda into law, depends on both the cooperation of different factions of Democrats as well as Republicans being willing to strike a bipartisan deal on infrastructure. Now, Mr. Biden met Tuesday with Senator Kyrsten Sinema, a member of the bipartisan group, at the White House Tuesday. And you guys will recall, we covered that in just the last video earlier today. And it says, we're enthusiastic about getting the bipartisan infrastructure plan across the finish line, confident we'll be there soon, said the White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki. Now, Ms. Psaki said that Mr. Biden and Mrs. Sinema, they were very much aligned on a path forward, and noted that the end of the negotiations frequently involved some of the trickiest discussions. She said that Mr. Biden would continue to make phone calls on the proposal in support of reaching an agreement. Now, several of the lawmakers said that they thought the two sides were getting closer Tuesday on a late sticking point, which is how much funding to direct to public transit, which Democrats have pushed to increase, and Republicans had sent a new offer to Democrats beefing up how much transit money they were willing to include, according to GOP lawmakers and aides. Now, transit is certainly a major issue. The Republicans have made an extraordinarily generous transit offer, said Senator Susan Collins to reporters on Tuesday. Now, lawmakers said that they also had to search for some new sources of revenue to pay for the bill after the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates of their proposals came up short of what they were expecting. Now, the bipartisan group had agreed in concept to repurpose some of the unused funds from previous pandemic relief packages. So unused money from previous stimulus packages, they're planning on using that to help pay for this, but said that they had run into some confusion over how much money would be available after getting different estimates from the agencies. Now, members of the bipartisan group said they were still working through details of a roughly $65 billion plan for broadband spending, with talks focused on how to distribute funds to states and how to design a program aimed at making broadband service more affordable for low-income consumers. Now, Senator Bill Cassidy, a member of the bipartisan group, said Republicans wanted to make sure that the broadband investment wouldn't open the door to any kind of rate regulation. Now, the light touch regulatory policy that the U.S. has had has given us the greatest build-out of broadband internet in the world, he said. So what we really don't want to do is change the dynamic. Now, the bill is expected to be written in a way that prevents rate regulations, according to someone familiar with negotiations. So there you guys have it. We are on the final stretch. It looks like we could be seeing a bill here very soon. Looks like they're working out the final details, and also we're going to see their attention now turn to the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, the American Families Plan, the anti-poverty plan, and we're going to get some more details on that. I'll be sure to let you guys know as soon as we find out. And you guys, thank you so much for joining me. That is the latest on the infrastructure negotiations and stimulus. And if you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, smash that like button. Just takes a second. Helps me out a ton. Thank you so much. And also, if this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. I'll keep you up to date on everything, and you can join the Ram fam. And if you got any specific questions for me, be sure to shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, I hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next video. Remember, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, guaranteed video uploads, and also random videos throughout the day as news breaks. But with that being said, you guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.